I'm Joshua Potts, and we're here with the head of athlete relations of Grand Slam Track, Morolake Akinosun. It's so great for you to be in the studio here at FloTrack, and honestly, to see what you did at South by Southwest was amazing with Grand Slam Track. You've been great hosting. Just to start off, just how are you doing? How are you enjoying Austin, being back? It's a little bit of homecoming for you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and to be in Austin, Texas. Austin is very, very much home to me. Yeah. It's one of the 3 cities now that I consider home, and I literally have a home here, so it feels great to be back. I put my T-ring on for, the couple of days that I'm here because, it's Texas.
Yeah, no, for sure. And now we're about a month away from the first slam. Less than a month.
24 days, 23 days, I think it is. 3 weeks.
Is it hectic right now, being the head of athlete relations for Grand Slam Track?
I wouldn't say it's hectic, but it's definitely, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of final things that we're putting in place to make sure that everything is set up perfectly for our competitors when they get to Kingston.
And I'm curious too, I think you started back in September or so as the head of athlete relations. Since that time then to now, how has everything come together? Has it been something where going back in September, you're like, how are we going to do this? Or has there been a streamlined plan where everything has really fallen into place?
I'll say it's more so that everything has fallen into place, and even the things that don't feel like they're going to fall into place, you look back and it was it was fine. And so there is a really good plan, and we have a really good team and really good leadership that have thought about everything from, up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards, diagonally. And I have a lot of confidence in our team that it's not going to be perfect because nothing in life is, but I think it's going to be near perfect.
There we go. We all excited for it, and especially for Kingston. As the head of athlete relations, what are your kind of responsibilities when it comes to actually going to these slams, if you can divulge?
So the interesting part is that this is the first time that everybody is doing everything.
Yep.
And so what my role and work is going to look like when we are physically in Kingston, I think that everyone might have an idea in their head of what I'm going to do when I get there, and I'll get there. We're all going to find out that actually we need you to do X, Y, and Z instead. And we're going with the flow. That's the part of what makes us great, is that there is the plan, but we're not stuck to the plan. And when we need to deviate, we deviate, and we do something different that's usually better as well. But primarily my responsibility and my job is to make sure that the competitors are well taken care of, that they have everything they need to perform the best that they can, and they just feel valued, respected as professional athletes should. And that's the number one priority that I have going into Kingston.
And I would think your time as an 8-year professional athlete going to Olympics, all those things definitely helps you for this role. But then are there some things where you're kind of I didn't think athletes kind of operated that way? Because people are different. So has there been any surprises where you're just all oh, maybe?
Surprises. The surprises don't come from the competitors, honestly. The surprises come from the other side of it, of learning how to work with the agents. Because obviously I only had experience with the agents that I personally worked with throughout my career. But just learning how to balance that aspect of doing what is best for all of our competitors, but also respecting the work boundary with the agents.
No, that's definitely true. It's definitely a lot of people to juggle, and a lot of communication that you have to really go through.
And different people communicate in different ways and different styles, and figuring out what the best way to communicate with person A is totally different than person B, which is totally different from person C.
Yeah, no, for sure. With the challengers too, do you have communication with a lot of the challengers as they start to get ready for the slams?
Not as much the challengers from right now, at least. When they get to Kingston and Miami and Philadelphia and Los Angeles, we will interact with our challengers a ton as well. We want them to be a part of the league and feel like they are a part of us. And so it's not we're ostracizing them and saying, don't come talk to us. No, we want the challengers to feel welcomed at every single slam. But my main focus for the league is making sure our racers are well taken care of.
And with that in mind, you guys have announced a great list of racers ahead of Kingston. You haven't announced all the racers yet, but especially I know on the short distance side with with Bryce Hoppel coming into the mix, with Emmanuel Wanyonyi. Who are some of the challengers that you're excited to see in Kingston?
Well, all of the challengers are actually going to be announced tomorrow morning.
Oh, let's go.
So tomorrow's Thursday, March 13th, or yes, Thursday, March 13th is tomorrow, and all of the challengers will be announced then. So I'm excited for everyone to see the list of challengers. It's going to be a great meet in Kingston. Personally, I think that I'm very much excited to see Jaisha Sears, who's had a very, very good indoor season, clearly. I'm excited to see her run the 100, run the 200. The last time we saw Jaisha competing in the NCAA season, she was like almost breaking the collegiate record, and unfortunately she was injured and we didn't get to see her finish her season. And so I'm excited to see her really run a full season this year and see what she can do. That's probably also my short sprint bias.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, we have 3 days for each slam. With those 3 days, I know we're going to have great competition. Are there going to be anything outside of outside of that competition time where we're going to see athletes doing media appearances or things outside of that nature to really collaborate with fans?
To collaborate with the fans, I hope so. Like we will have times where the fans will be able to see the athletes pre and post. You know, we're always going to leave it up to them how much they choose to engage. At the end of the day, they are there to compete. They are there to do a job, and you don't want to do anything that will sacrifice them performing at their optimal level. And there will be some other fun things that are happening before and after the 3 days of the actual slam as well. And
I'm curious too, with other meets kind of leading up to these slams, I know it was at Milrose, you guys did sort of like a meetup, like a run and things of that nature here at South by Southwest. What goes into those strategic decisions to like make sure that Grand Slam track is being marketed on these levels and like having these athletes in the right position where they can really meet the right fan to get on board with the slams? The running community is very, very large. A lot of people really, really love track, really love watching track, and really want to get to know our racers better than they do right now. Unfortunately, they're just not given the chance to actually get to know the racers. And so it's been very easy and very simple for us, and we've learned very quickly that if we just give our racers the opportunity, the platform at Milrose, at the Super Bowl with Devin Nalla, here at South by Southwest, at other events, that people will flock to come and meet them because they don't normally have the opportunity to. So it's simply just creating the supply for a demand that was already there. I'm curious, and this may be different for every single racer, but what do you feel like for a track and field athlete that fans don't really realize about them? If that's their personality, if that's just how they really go through their daily life, what's the one thing that we really miss about professional track and field athletes that we really don't think about? I think people don't see the hidden sacrifice and the hidden sacrifices that happen all the time for not just professional track athletes, but all professional athletes in general. And so everyone thinks of you have to eat healthy, you have to work out all the time, you have to, like everyone knows like those sacrifices. What they don't see is the missed family events, the missed holidays, the missed dinners, the missed hang out with friends, I have to go to sleep instead of coming over. Like there is like a sacrifice that not just the professional athlete has to make, but all of their friends, all of their families, all of their loved ones also have to make in order for one person to be great. The number of people that have to choose that sacrifice and choose greatness in order for one person to be great, that's not seen every day. Man, I got chills a little bit. That's really like, that is the reality of a lot of situations. And I want to jump into this as well, because I think that comes from your guys' competitive atmosphere to really dive deep in that. And you just jumping out of track, like obviously that competitive fire never leaves you, but it's still there. We were just outside and you're doing that grip strength to really all the way. I've met Michael Johnson before. He's a competitive guy just off the jump. That competitive atmosphere of the workers of Grand Slam track, do you feel like that lives there to kind of be the best that you guys want to be? 100%. I think that, Michael Johnson is our fearless leader, and the tenacity that got him to win 4 Olympic gold medals, it still is inside of him. And now that is just being applied to being the CEO and commissioner of Grand Slam track. So whatever you think was in him to win 4 Olympic gold medals, it's still there. And it's still, that edge is still brought every single day. It's just, different now. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Morolake, we thank you so much for being here. Just like 30 seconds, plug Kingston, plug Grand Slam Track. Where do we need to buy the tickets? What's the information?
GrandSlamTrack.com. Get your tickets for Kingston. The Kingston Slam is happening April 4th through 6th. Or check us out on the CW and Peacock, coming to you live. It's going to be a great meet.
Man, Head of Athlete Relations is killing it on all levels. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.